Welcome back to another video. Today I'm discussing the three clans from JJK. Now we know the three clans are made up of the Kamino, Gojo, and Zenin family. Now these are just my assumptions on it. Let me know if you agree, but these are just my thoughts I wanted to get out and not make shorts about it. I could have made a short about it. I didn't feel like it. Now, of course, with the three family has always been stride and always been discontent of talking with each other. As of course, when Gojo came into play, being the strongest sorcerer he kind of settled everyone down by saying, no one can mess with me. Now, my first assumption of the three clans, of course, is that Gojo killed all of the Gojo clan. Now, we know Gojo has not a problem, but he mostly does not like the higher authority of the higher ups, as we will see much later in the anime when it comes back. I am not going to discuss it in the manga. Within that, and we know what he does to the higher ups. He may have done the same to the Gojo clan. Of course, as they talked about the Gojo clan, they said that Gojo is the only representative and probably the only one who's mattered from the Gojo clan. We have not seen another Gojo clan member. We have not heard another Gojo clan member. I've never even heard Gojo mention a father, a mother, a brother, a sister. Now, of course, there's a little cameo as they're seeing Gojo as a kid, as someone holding his hand. So that may have been his mother, but we won't know. So I like to think when Gojo became as of age, probably after he graduated Jutsu High, he killed most of the Gojo clan. If not most, he killed all of the Gojo clan. And since he's Gojo, no one really went up to him because he was part of the Gojo clan. 1. 2, the Zenin family was still prominent and they probably hated the Gojo clan as well. My second assumption, of course, is that the Kamino, well, that's more of an assumption, more of a fact. The Kamino family is, of course, Kenjaku's family. Of course, as we know, Kenjaku is the predecessor, if not the most ancient person in the Kamino family, as he basically started the line of the blood-piercing techniques, the poison, so as we can see with Chozo, the death paintings, and the other dude from the Kamino family. Of course, I like to think the Kamino family bloodline may have stopped, but I know there's one more person as the head of the Kamino family. My third assumption is that despite the many wars between the three clans, they have been, of course, infighting for most years. The Zenin family can never agree on the Zenin things, but I think all three has gone through a mass casualty event. In terms of, what the Zenin clan went through with the Maki event, Gojo clan, of course, I haven't mentioned before, Gojo may have killed all of his clan. And the Kamino family just probably having one descendant line of birth. And that's, of course, we don't see multiple Kamino family members. Except for Chozo. He's part of the Kamino family technically. And technically so is Itadori, if you want to be technical with it. And so are the death paintings. And we could throw Toji in there just for like Pete's sake, But Toji is from like a different kind of family. Anyway, my other assumption, mostly I get this assumption from mostly Naruto clan. There's a lot of inbreeding. Of course, it's to keep the blood levels high of the Zenin clan, and anyone that was to marry outside the clan was ashamed and or thrown about. Other than that, as we don't really get to see many more of the non-curse user combatants, the ones that don't have curse energy. Of course, there's very rare cases, and the only two that we see are Maki and Toji, so we don't know if there are like any other ones. My other thing is that since basically the Zenin clan is basically dead, the Inumaku family is probably the next part of the three clans. Only because Inumaki himself is he's not a non-combatant, but he probably focuses mostly on, how powerful that technique is and how it could grow its so much more power and how it's an incredibly broken and how they're not part of the big three of the clans. So if JJK were to ever get a sequel, we will most likely see the Inumaki clan hopefully pop up. I think that's it off my assumptions. Gojo kills his family, probably. Other than that, I like to also think that the Kamino family knew about Kenjaku the whole time, but has decided to stay quiet, as of course they did not want one of the family members of the clan that may have died years, if not decades, centuries ago, come back to haunt them in the JJK world. Of course, these Kamino, Gojo, Inumaki, Zenin, most people from their families probably made up the higher ups, and Gojo still was reluctant to kill him. Anyway, that's kind of it. Hopefully get to know about more of the clans if we get one-shot novels, spin-offs, things to keep the series have more juicy content. Just not enough for it to have its own show. Anyway, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.